All right, so this week we will be focusing on the company description portion of our business plan. In this section, you're going to explain where your company will be located and what your hours of operation are going to be. So this should be a relatively simple section for you to write, although there will be some research that you have to do as far as where your business is going to be located. For this, I want you to actually find a real physical location where you plan to operate. So if you want to be in Scottsbluff, what I did is I just typed into Google buildings for sale in Scottsbluff. And I found a whole array of different buildings. Here's one that's close to downtown Scottsbluff that might be good for a salon, Kaylee, or even a cafe, Aspen. Also, there was a warehouse too that I found that might be good for Dylan or Josh. Keep in mind, we have to have different buildings. We can't all operate in the same building. To be honest, there isn't that much on that website that I found. But if you just look in Google and do a little research, you should be able to find a building that suits where you'd like to operate. Hallie, you were planning on doing yours kind of out by Lyman, if I remember correctly. So it might be a little bit more difficult for you to find office space out there. So let me know if you struggle with that at all, and I can help you. We can even find a lot and plan to create a business on a lot, which will cost you a lot up front, and that's why I want you to find a building that's already established. But for those of you wanting to go out in the country like Hallie, we will have to find some different options for you. But again, you're going to have to do a little bit of research here. Be strategic. I mean, you don't want to put a Cafe Aspen all the way out in the middle of nowhere because it's not going to be convenient for your customers to go get a coffee out in the middle of nowhere. I don't think any of you are planning on running your business from home. But if you are, like for example, Josh, if you wanted to do this out of your garage, which as a diesel mechanic working on semis, that might be pretty difficult. But Dylan, I mean, you might be someone that wants to work from home. You can do that, although I think it would be worth it to look for a physical business. When you find a physical building that you would, see yourself operating a business in, I want you to also keep in mind the price. So if I were you, I would write down the price at whatever place you are looking at. My computer's been super slow today, just to warn everybody. So here, this building is for sale. This is over by East Overland in Scottsbluff. The price for this would be $315,000. So you're going to have to keep that in mind, especially when we do this next section, the financial analysis. So you're going to have to make sure that you write down what the price is before you move on. That way you don't forget. I mean, you could easily Google search it when we do move on to our financial analysis, but it might be worth writing down just to save you time in the long run. You're also going to have to explain why you chose this location. If we look at the example business plan of Andy's Donuts, I did mine in South Dakota, and this was a real section near downtown, or business building, downtown that was for rent. And I give the address of the location. I give kind of a little bit of a history and why I put it here. So I say the surrounding amenities include local businesses such as, and here's a bunch of businesses that are popular in Spearfish. And then I say why I chose it. So I chose this location because it is close to Spearfish, downtown Spearfish, where there's a lot of traffic, especially during the summer months during tourist season. The size of the business is also ideal for the products that we offer, which are donuts. So in addition to writing all of this, I'd like you to include a screenshot or a picture of the building that you're planning on operating in. If you need help with screenshotting, let me know. You should be able, if you don't know how to screenshot, I think everybody knows how, but if you don't remember how, you can just text me and I will help you with that. Or Google. This is a good resource as well. All right, the next thing you're going to do is, I guess I should say, when you're doing your location of business, also you'll notice in the example how I gave surrounding amenities. So if you are downtown Scottsbluff, for example, some surrounding amenities would be restaurants like the Flyover or Runza, and also different businesses that may help you generate some traffic in your business. Okay, the layout of the store business. So this is up to you. I understand you don't really know what the businesses look like inside. So you're just going to have to come up with your best estimation of how you plan on laying this out. So for Andy's Donuts, I used an online platform, and I give you guys some links in the assignment that I posted in Google Classroom. I give you some links for some good websites to create your layout from, and one of those websites I did mine for Andy's Donuts. These are just pictures of the ones that I created, but you'll notice that I'm pretty strategic. So I only have 3 tables because it's a donut shop. A lot of people grab and go, and I make it convenient for people to walk in and then walk out. And I have a restroom. I have where my display case will be, order here, pick up here. So it's pretty convenient. I also have an espresso bar over here, and my menu board in the back here, and supplies, I believe is what that says. And then my back of the store is going to include some counter space, 3 ovens, freezer, walk-in fridge, all the things that you'll need for the front and the back. You can lay yours out however you want. Again, be strategic. Maybe think of, businesses that you know of. Like if you're doing a cafe at Aspen, think of how businesses usually lay out their cafes, or cafes that you've liked, that you've walked into. Try to create that same warm feeling and when you're doing your layout. Again, if you need help with this, or if you're struggling at all to come up with, how this should be laid out, just give me a text. And it might also be worth it to research, again, what other businesses are doing in your industry. All right. Last part of this is the hours of operation. So with hours of operation, you're going to explain when your company will be open and why you've decided on those hours. For Andy's Donuts, I chose to be open 7 days a week because who doesn't want donuts on any day of the week? Monday through Friday from 5:30 a.m. because that's usually in the morning is when people want donuts, but I also want to give kids an opportunity after school to come stop by and get a donut during the week. And then on Saturday through Sunday, I'm open from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I explain my strategy for this is these hours are ideal because donuts are primarily a breakfast/brunch option for a lot of people. We expect our rush hours to be in the mornings during the work commute time. Also, when kids get out of school, they may want a sweet treat, so we decided to stay open a little past when school gets out for students and teachers. So, be able to back up, why you decided on the hours of operation. Keep in mind, you don't want to be open too late or too long because, that's costing you money for each hour you're open during the day. And if you don't have very many people walking in and out of your doors, you're losing money. So you want to be strategic. Again, look at what businesses in the area that are similar to your industry, what hours they're operating. That might help you decide how you want to set up yours, but you also want to have a competitive advantage. So if, for example, Gehring Bakery they close at 2:00 p.m., then I have somewhat of an advantage for being open till 4:30 to give kids an opportunity to stop by maybe after school. All right, so that is all you really have to do for the company description. Again, this should be fairly simple section of the business plan to complete, but if you have any questions at all, make sure you ask.